Today we are going to see how to add a Java GUI that we are using a JFrame for making frames. Topic is to add a background image. We added a background color but not added a background image. So let's see it, how to add a background images. Okay. So simply what we are going to do, we are going to create one home page now. So for the frame, we can able to add the panel, right? We can create a different panels. We are added a background color as well as text color, but now we are going to add some images, the background images. So what will be the syntax for adding image and all that thing that we are going to see. And after that, we'll create full and final one home page while adding a different kind of panels. Like if it is your entire frames. So in top panel, we can add all the menu options, and even we can create panel like this as well. Okay. Here are all the functionality option will be there. And after that, in between, we can add an entire frame. Okay. So this we can create once you understand how to add an image. First of all, we'll complete this image, like how to add image. Then we can create like this frame. Okay. That will look very cool once you added a panel like vertical and horizontal. And in exactly the same position, you can add the image, all the empty position. We can adjust that image accordingly as well. Okay. So now let's start. We already know how to create a frames, how to add a basic panel and all that thing. So we can take one empty frame directly and we'll try to focus on adding image first. Okay. So let's open our Eclipse. I already opened. This is our yesterday's task. So if you want to copy this panel, that also you can do. But before that, we'll create one basic example where we can add simple images. Okay, so that will not create extra confusions. Go into your project, select your package, just right click and create one main class that is known as image demo. So main class. The very first thing, create an empty frames, right? And we know how to create an empty frame and all that. You can either copy the code or you can just simply type exten extends JFrames. Okay. I'm not going to type all the things because you already know the basic parameters for the frames. Right. Before that, we need to create a constructor that is img demo. Within that demo, we can create this size. And the last one is what? Set visible true. So this is a code. Many times we have written. You may always remember these simple codes, and we can just call this constructor. So every time there is no need to types because that will be remain same. So focus on the main major code. Here the majorly we want to understand like how to add an image. To adding image, the very first thing you have to do in your src folder, you have to right click here. Okay. Or else you can directly add image here also, or if you want to make some folder, that also you can do. Okay. So let's take one image. First of all, I will add a syntax key how to add a image. So for adding image, we need to take one label here, JLabel option. LABEL. Is that right? JLabel. Suppose IMG L. Perfect. And we know how to initialize and all that things. So let's initialize it. Our frame size is 500 by 500, so is equal to new j label, right? Up to now, whatever the label we have created, in that label we are always adding a text. But now in that label we are going to add an image. Before that, let's set the bounds here. Let image l dot set bounds bound. Okay. So let me make it exactly the center. For the center things, let me take 200. Yeah, I will just add a 10 and 10s. But we are going to add entire images. So I'm not going to set any bounds. Let add this frame in entire frame itself. So for that, what we are going to do in the label itself, we are going to use one syntax that is known as image icon. This is image icons. And in that image icon, we have to provide the path from where we are adding the images. So either we can make a different folder here, and within that folder we can add images, or else we can just copy that image and paste into the src folder, and after that we can do the extensions. So let me check what image I have, and based on that image we can use that image. So we need some good image, so let me copy this. Doesn't matter up to now, or else you can use this image as well. Let me use verified, right? So copy this name, verified, verified, verified.png. Okay, and add image label. Add imgl. Perfect. Let's check now whether it is working or not. If not, then we can just adjust this code accordingly. Oh, it is not set. Even we did a set visible and all that things. New image icon and path src slash verified.png. Is that path is correct? Mm. School src verified.png. Let me try to make a changes. No, image is not going to add here. Before that, let's try to set this label imgl. Just try to set the bound. Let's check amg dot set bounds. Image label dot set bounds. In the center of the things we can to add, let's give the 10, 100, x, comma 100, 5. You give the width as a 300, height as a 300. Just for checking purpose, whether it is really added or not. See, problem is we are not adding any space and width and height. So that is the reason why that image is not showing. Okay. So this is things, and accordingly you can adjust the image size as per you wanted. This image is entirely 512 by 512. So that's why it's giving this kind of situations. So let me make it as a 10. Here is also 10. and just increase it 400 by 400. It's perfect, right? So even you can just adjust this X like a 20 or something. Perfect. Yes. For this, see, yeah, that is also there is a way because that I am not taking up to now. We have some ready-made calculations. So let me show you first. So how that works. If you see my some previous examples that I already did, you can see here I'm using dimension width minus divide by 2. So this kind of formula, it will exactly open that screen in center of this frame. Okay. And there is a always option you can disable this position so that the frame will be not get disturbed. Okay. So that we can keep this thing also dynamics. But for this, you cannot put the calculation hard coded. You have to always do the dimension like based on the calculations. So whatever will be the width of frames, whatever will be the width of height, as per that we can calculate. Okay. But as of now, we're just adding a controllers, but we can keep this dynamic as well. Okay. But this is the best option. You can adjust the frame that way you want it and just log that the maximize screen options. So as of now, we are adding this image and it is adding exactly the center. So even I can minimize the height and just make it as a 350 by 3. Mm-hmm. This is like this, it should open. No, it is initially it will open based on the size that we have provided. Okay. It's very first time because it's work based on code, no? So whatever will be the code that we have written, accordingly it only opens. And it needs some way to like when to open a full screen and when to open half screen, right? So there is one standard size you may know about like 1080 by 1080. Okay. So like this you can maintain then. So it is exactly the full screen size considered most of. Okay. So like this you can also calculate the entire frame size and you can keep that frame size. Okay. Okay, the main things that I wanted to show you that how to add in images. So adding images, there is nothing rocket science. You have to just make it as in label new image icons and the image path. And then set bounds where you want to add the images and accordingly adjust your frame size. So like this we have adjusted. So this is the way. I can just increase the X here and then maybe the Y. We can give the width and height and accordingly we can adjust. See. So this is the image that we have added. Perfect. And in that image also you can create a menu and all that things. Even we can add the button on this frame as well and in this image as well. So that is also the possibles. Okay. So let me take one simple example. Suppose you can add some background image and within that background image, if you want to add some button and all that things, so that also possibles. Okay. So simply if you want to add the button on these frames, so let me take one good image so that it will be visible. Gene image. You can take any example that is free downloadable. So is that downloadable? Let's check. Save image as. No, it is not. It a web file. You can download the PNG and JPG. All images are not downloadable. Save image as. Yeah, this is JPG. So let's try this. But it's very big image, okay? So we can adjust accordingly and we can remake the size. So let me give a GM. Let's open that. It's very what will be the size? Oh, it actually too small size, but let's say how it fit or not. But it's not going to fit. It may repeat the multiple times, so that may happen. Doesn't matter. JPJ, just change the size as GYM dot JPJ. JPG. Let's run. Say it's a smaller one, so that's the reason why it is not getting this. So you have to very particular while adding the image. You should have a proper good images so that you can set. There is one website that is called Flat Icon. From here you can copy the image as well, or else see the proper images where you can download the something. You can't download the some that are already used in some website and all that things. So that may be the reason why it is not downloading. Yeah. If you go into that particular URL, yeah, now it will be a download at original size. Save image GYM JPEG. Yes, override it. Go into that particular folders. Now you can see the size. It's perfectly fine. Just copy this. Go here and replace the original position. Override it. Okay. Now if you run the frames, so it will be run properly. Exactly. Right. But the image is too big, so that's why the half sizes get working here. So let me add now the full size image. So I'll give the x is 0, y is 0. And the frame size is 500 by 500. So let me make it as a 500 by 500. If you run this, the entire frame will be get fit into the images. Perfect. And now within this image, you can add some controllers like I have taken the buttons. So the B1 is equal to new buttons. The same thing that we did up to now. So let me copy some buttons from somewhere. So we know the button properties and all that things. Yeah, just I copy these buttons. Everything will be remain same. Just we are adding the extra buttons. What happened? Oh, J button. I'm not using buttons. It's our J button. Sorry. So we are adding this button in. Let me add a top post position only. Y will be 20, X will be 200, 130. In our run, you can see that the button will be get added in that particular frames image. Okay. So like this, we can develop a designs the way we want it, and we can adjust that thing as well. Okay. So let make it more cool. So what we'll do, we can increase the frame as suppose 1500, and I will increase the size as 1000. Perfect. Let me add now. So in the similar manner, the height will be a very high. So like make it 1000 by 800. Let me add here. Perfect. Even I can increase the width, not a problem. make it as a 1200, and this, and the same size you can give here also, 1200 by 800. Now run. Perfect. So this is your home page now. Okay. So let me minimize the height. It is too much height. It is. And just make it as a 500 or 600 even. Perfect. Just consider it as our home screens. And now what I want to add a two panel here. One is at the tops and one is only the right side, on the left side. Okay. So what we'll do, I can remove this uh, the button first. Can add later on. I want to add a two panels. So we know the panel size already. So let me copy the panel one and panel two here from this. We can reuse the many components as we wanted. Panel one and add first panel here. And within that panel, I can add this heading as well, like a gym management system and all that things. Let's copy this gym, and after that also you can add, not a problems. Let me add here this. Okay, so J label we need to create, header, head and list. Perfect. So we have created one panel, and the panel is starting from the 0 to width 80. Okay, height is we are getting an 80. So that's why our frame is also we need to adjust, would be from 80 itself. So the above will be get added a frames panel. So you can see the user registrations, and then the frame is get added. So now instead of user registration, you can say the gym registration on anything. See, perfect. Now you can add the left panel as well. How we can add the left panel now? So we already have a two panel here. If you check the panel two, the panel two is here. So let me copy this panel two. Now what I want panel, it not be get added at the bottoms. I want to add a panel at leftmost side. For that, what I can do, I will make it as a Y as a 80. Okay, Y 80 from the 80 size. X will be start from 0. It's perfect. Then we have a width. Then we have a height. So now width I want to make it as in 100 should be the width, but height I want to calculate it dynamically. So I see the gate size dot height. Is there any option? The perfect. Okay. Now you see that panel. The panel is added at the rightmost. Is not visible in right. I want to add a panel here basically. So what's the problem now? Panel two, panel two. Set bound method. X will be the 0. Fine. Y will be the 80. Then we are given the width as 100, and then height is as per the dynamic. Perfect. Set background we are getting, and we are adding the panel P2 as well. Then what is the problem now? Panel. Set bounds is right. It's a 0. Y we are giving 80. So from size we want to set as an 80. Images also start from 80. I want to give the width only the 100. and this height will be the dynamic. Mm. Okay, let make it as height should be 100 to 720. Mhm. Okay, let's go now make it x 100. Y should be suppose 180. This is 1000. Mhm. Okay, basically that panel is maybe added, but that will be get hidden just because of the image is already adjusted accordingly. So let me do one thing. I want to set the image from the 80. X is 80 because we are starting X as 80. Right? Let me run now. See, as I told you that images get hidden, means our panel is get hidden just because of image is already there. Okay, so let me increase the now. This is 100, and the same thing. It is also the 100, but make it the different color. I can slightly change the color, but I don't know the exactly what color should I give. But make it as a 150, 150, 150. It may be some different colors. Yeah, you can see that slightly there is a differentiating. We are happy with the color. Perfect. So fine. Now we have a vertical panel and horizontal panel as well. And within that panel, we can add the button, different buttons. Okay. Even increase the width of panel, or else you can add a better images because of the shadow is also gray shadow, so that may be not looking that cool. But you can add a different image, not a problem. Let's try some different images so that will look cool. Let's check. Is that okay? Not a problem. Either you can add this image, inspect here, but it is not a bigger image. Okay. Gym background image. Okay, fine. Here, let me down. Uh-huh. We need some HD images. Okay, so finding images maybe take times, but you know how to add a images, so that's the main syntax. If I add a small image, that will not look good. So that's why I'm looking for some good image. Yeah, there is 100 plus pre images. Yeah, so this is will be the better. Let's find some good image. Is that possible to download? Yes. Fine. Yeah, it is some kind of HD images, so it may look good. Okay, fine. Let's copy this, go there and src and just paste it. We already have this. Let me give the panel width as an 100 here. Perfect. Something is get disturbed. What it is? What? Oh, we adjusted a Y. It should be a 80 only. No, check. Perfect. Right. When you can make it more lighter. Perfect. So now within that you can add a button. So like we have added button somewhere. It is this is buttons. So let's me undo it is. Oh sorry. Ooh, 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 ooh. Just 2 minutes. We are adding adjusting the button so that it will get added button here. So if you see that button, let me undo. I want to add that button in panel 2. Okay, remember. So this is panel 2. You're going to add button. So I make it as a P2 dot add. Perfect. And we have panel as an 100 width only. So I'll adding button start from, I will give the X position as only 10 and Y position will be suppose from the 80. So make it as a 120 here and width I make it as 60 only. Height will be 30. So let me give the menu one option here. Let's check. We have some problem here. What's the problem now? Which button you have problem? Panel 2 is a null. Oh, why it is panel 2 is a null? Ah, so we have created a panel option at below. We have to add this button after adding this frames. Perfect. Now let's add. See, it's a menu one option is get added, right? In a similar manner, you can keep on adding the buttons. So let me give you the 50 width, some should be the 80. And now you can see the menu one. Perfect. So you can keep on adding this menu buttons. So like this, you can create a good home screens. B2, B3, B4, suppose B5 options are these. You can just copy these buttons. You have to just adjust Y only. Okay. Make it as in B2, 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 sorry, B2, B2, add B2. Make it as a menu 2. Just adjust Y position. So it is a 120 plus 50, 170, 170 plus 30, maybe that is a 200. And it is should be a 280. And make it as a B3, 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 B, sorry, it's B2 only. And make it as a B3. Let me add one more button here. Uh, sorry, B3. It's B4. B4, 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 B4s. Okay. So it is a 280 plus 50, 230. So make it as a 260 only. Menu 2, menu 3, menu 4. See, perfect. Even you want to add some extra space, so that also you can do. So instead of this 120, make it as a how much space you are adding. Let's see. So 120 we are adding extra 30. So let me make it as 250 here, then 320 here, and sorry, 250, make it as 350, make it as 450. Okay, so these are the menu. So like this, we can create one good frames where we can have different menu here. Even we can add a menu here also. Okay, and accordingly it's going to work. Perfect. So now we have to design a such a frame so that there is a different panels, different menu options, and even we know how to open a different frames. So we can open frame within this size as well. That also we can do. Okay. So like this, you can create a home design in perfect manner, and so that we can design a proper software screen so that all the screen will be worked here.